So what's the real difference between a business you just use and a business you absolutely love? It's about more than just getting what you paid for. It's really about the relationship. A good way to think about it is like a pyramid. And in the next few minutes, we're going to build that pyramid together, starting from the ground floor of basic satisfaction and climbing all the way up to a true strategic partnership.
Here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll start by redefining who a customer even is these days. Then, we'll tackle the absolute baseline, satisfaction. But we're going to find out pretty quick why that's just not enough. From there, we'll level up to creating profitable loyalty. And finally, we'll hit the very top, turning your best customers into partners in innovation. Okay, let's lay the foundation. Before we can even think about satisfying a customer, we got to get on the same page about a surprisingly tricky question. Who is the customer? As you're about to see, the answer has changed a lot.
Back in the day, the definition was simple, right? The customer was just the person who bought your stuff. Easy. But today's most successful companies have a much, much broader view. They get that some of their most critical customers are actually their own employees.
So what in the world do we mean by an internal customer? Well, think about an assembly line. The engineering team is a customer of the design team. They need clear blueprints to do their job. Then, the factory floor is a customer of engineering. And here's the big takeaway. If that internal chain breaks down at any point, there's no way you can deliver a great product to your external customer. It all starts inside. All right, foundation's poured. Now let's build that first big level of our pyramid. This is the price of entry in modern business, the absolute non-negotiable baseline, customer satisfaction. This quote right here, this gets to the absolute heart of the matter. See, a company doesn't get to decide what quality means all by itself. The customer is the only judge that counts. So satisfying them isn't just a nice goal to have, it has to be the #1 priority, period. And here's the key thing to understand. Satisfaction is not a destination. You don't just win the satisfaction trophy, put it on a shelf, and call it a day. Nope. It has to be re-earned with every single interaction, every single time. It's a constant, ongoing process.
So how do you actually pull off that continuous satisfaction? Well, you need a system. And this 6-step process is a fantastic playbook. It takes you from just guessing what customers want to a structured cycle of gathering real data, making sense of it, and then, most importantly, taking meaningful action.
Okay, so we've established it, right? Satisfying the customer is priority #1. We're feeling pretty good, we're meeting expectations. But what if I told you that's not nearly enough? Let's move to the next level of the pyramid and see where this goes.
So we're back to this core belief. It feels like solid ground, doesn't it? Customer satisfaction must be the highest priority. This is the conventional wisdom. A satisfied customer is a loyal customer. Makes sense, right?
But is it really true? Let's just pause on that for a second. If a customer has 0 complaints and you met their expectations perfectly, does that guarantee they're going to choose you again next time?
And here it is, the counterintuitive truth that changes the entire game. Research shows that a huge number of customers who leave for a competitor will actually report being satisfied with you. This is so important. Satisfaction does not equal loyalty. Why? Well, because mere satisfaction is fragile. If a competitor dangles a slightly better price or a cool new feature, there's no deep connection holding that customer back. They'll just switch.
This means we have to aim higher. The goal can't just be to meet expectations anymore. The new goal is to exceed them by creating real, tangible value for the customer in every single interaction.
Okay, so how do you do that without just guessing? Well, one really powerful method is called quality function deployment. Now, don't worry about the jargon. The idea is actually super simple. Instead of building a product and then checking for quality at the end, you build what customers want directly into the design process from day one.
This brings us to the next really strategic layer of our pyramid. We know now that satisfaction isn't enough, and we get that we need to create value to earn loyalty. But now we have to get even smarter. It's not just about keeping customers, it's about keeping the right ones.
This model shows how it all connects. Think of it like a chain reaction. Your business's performance directly shapes how customers perceive you. Those perceptions then drive their loyalty behaviors, like do they buy again or recommend you? And those behaviors, in turn, directly impact your financial outcomes. It's one big, continuous feedback loop.
So, we want loyal customers. We've got it. That's the goal. But we need to add a very, very important word to that goal.
And that word is profitable. See, not all loyalty is created equal. A business has to be strategic and focus its energy on earning the loyalty of the customers who are actually profitable. You can't just assume every loyal customer is good for the bottom line. You have to know.
And here we are. We've reached the very top of our pyramid. This is the most advanced, most forward-thinking stage of the customer relationship. This is where we stop thinking of customers as just consumers and start treating them as co-creators.
I mean, just think about this shift for a second. For decades, companies have been trying to guess what customers want. But what if you stopped guessing and instead you gave them a toolkit to help you design the next product themselves? This is all about empowering your customers to become part of your innovation engine.
And look, this isn't just some crazy theoretical idea. There's a real roadmap to make it happen. It starts with creating a toolkit for customers that's genuinely easy to use, but it also means the business itself has to become more flexible and adapt its own way of doing things to support this whole new level of collaboration.
So let's end on that thought. We've gone all the way from just defining who the customer is, to satisfying them, to earning their profitable loyalty, and we end up here, at a place where the line between company and customer really starts to blur. Just imagine what becomes possible when you don't just listen to your customers, but you truly partner with them.